Tests and quizzes in social studies will often require short responses. The goal is to be able to measure a deeper understanding, which can often be shown best through writing. It's also meant to show us that you are learning and applying the writing skills that are a part of our lessons as well. So be prepared to write short responses on your tests and quizzes. Many of these will be as small as 4-ish sentences, which is enough time to clearly communicate a single idea, especially if we're including all 3 of these purple elements from this standard rubric. Take a moment, pause the video. In your head, match these purple pieces to the color-coded example above. Hopefully, you realize that this was quite straightforward, okay, because they actually go in order. We have a topic sentence, a piece of evidence that includes a reference to the source, and an explanation in our own words that shows how the pieces are related. All 3 need to be tied closely together and answer the prompt. That's where this on-topic box comes from. And we need to have good conventions like spelling and punctuation, and formal style like no, you, and we. This rubric you will see time and again. To practice using it and considering some common mistakes, we're going to look at a few examples and decide how you would score it. Pause the video, read this example, and decide if you would give the person full credit or partial credit for each of these responses. I would have marked this as yes, they have a clear, accurate topic sentence. I would have given them a half credit for evidence because they never referenced the source. And then I probably would have given them half credit for elaboration because they attempt to explain, but it's way too general. They're basically repeating what they have already written. Your elaboration needs to explain it more clearly or provide an example or connect the pieces together. I would have given them full credit for being on topic and their conventions. Repeat the process with example 2. I would have given this a full point for the topic sentence, which makes sense since we got those in class the other day. I would have given them a half point for evidence. They're using something from the report, but again, they aren't giving credit. Worse, they aren't even putting in quotation marks this phrase which comes directly from it and is not a common type of statement that a 7th grader would make. And so that is really plagiarism. I would give them full credit for their elaboration because I think they're using more of an actual example from their own mind to help us understand their point. Repeat the process for this 3rd example. They have a topic sentence, they use evidence and cite the source, and they explain it, I think, in very clear terms in a way that's directly related to the evidence. So I would give them full credit for the elaboration. I also think they have good conventions. I would probably have marked them down on their accurate box as far as an on-topic answer, because they introduce in this topic sentence the idea of government support, and then they spend the rest of their paragraph talking about respect. We need to make sure that all of this is linked together. They're jumping around. Repeat the process for example number 4. Make sure that you're pausing to read and think about the rubric. In this example, I'd give them credit for the topic sentence again. I think they have a nice introduction to the source. They're saying that it's a report, they're naming the author, they're giving a phrase, they're turning it into a sentence. That's a good example, so yes, I give them that credit. Then I start to get a little nervous because we jump into another quote, which is well introduced, and then a 3rd quote. This person actually only uses evidence, they never elaborate, and that's another common mistake from students. They give me quote after quote, or they give me a huge quote, and then they don't do any student thinking or analysis on paper, and I want to see both pieces. So I would have given them a 0 for elaborates, I think they do have good language, and they do have an on-topic response. It's just not explained. Repeat the process for the last one. This time I want you to also fix the conventions errors. I would have given them full credit except a 0 on the conventions. They have a strong answer here with topic, evidence, and related example. What they don't have is careful proofreading. So they made simple mistakes, like they didn't capitalize the first word. They used the wrong role, so that should have been R-O-L-E. They didn't put a period where there should be one between past and the quotation mark. They used a personal pronoun like are. That should say the beliefs of others. They didn't put a period at the very end, which is common. They need to capitalize personal or proper nouns like the names of religions, so Christians and Muslims. Taking that time to proofread will make a huge difference.